And where are you from?
From Russia.
I'm from Ukraine. What do you discuss?
About anything. What's the difference?
There is a difference here after all. They are fighting, aren't they? Russia and Ukraine are at war.
They're at war, but we're not involved. We're just sitting here talking.
No, you are still involved. You must understand that. Everyone in Russia is involved.
How are we involved in the war? What's our fault?
Guilt. Let's not talk about guilt right now. Let's talk about involvement.
Well, how are we involved?
You contribute to the treasury which is used to purchase all kinds of things, including rockets and pistols.
How do we contribute? We're 18 years old. We don't work anywhere.
Well, you still buy things. Even if it's not you, your mom buys groceries for you.
So that's not us doing it.
Oh. Yes, but if you didn't exist, then fewer rounds of ammunition would have been purchased with that amount of taxes. As I said, we won't consider guilt at the moment, but rather involvement. So the involvement is undeniable.
No, but you also believe that we are to blame.
But when you deny your involvement, that's when the guilt really begins to manifest. Yes, yes, yes.
Well, only if we're not involved.
So, are you involved in refilling this vape? Or what does it run on? On cartridges? Some kind of liquid? You went and bought it, and 20% of that cost went to the war.
But we're certainly not involved, for example, in its commencement. How can we be involved in the president's disagreements?
But what do the disagreements between presidents have to do with this? During the course of this war, we've had 3 different presidents. Which specific president was Putin at odds with?
With any of them, my God, what do we have to do with any of this?
Because right now you're also unintentionally repeating Russian propaganda, which again supports the enemy.
What propaganda? We don't support anyone.
You do support it. You're not on the neutral side. Only Switzerland is truly neutral, and even that's quite doubtful. However, they have a specific defensive stance. You're just in Russia.
So we're supposed to badmouth Ukraine?
But how did you logically reach that conclusion? No, you should, if you're against the war, at least minimize your influence, and ideally, even try to sway things and bring it to a halt. There. But how did you arrive at the conclusion that you should be disparaging Ukraine? You are already disparaging Ukraine right now. Listen, do you even know who Wagner is?
Yeah, the musician.
A musician. Do you know his first name? Excellent. Do you know the reason why Dmitry Utkin opted to name this private military company Wagner?
So why then?
Well, you know yourself. If you know he's Richard, you know... I know, yeah.
Come on, if you're telling the story, tell it.
Let's work on this puzzle together. Not really a puzzle. I'm explaining. We're doing puzzles now. Look, here's the next clue. Dmitry Utkin's tattoos are Nazi-related, full of Nazi symbolism.
Where did you see that?
In a photograph of Dmitry Utkin. Do you know what happened after that?
That photo is all over the damn internet.
No, look, when they shot down.
That photo of him was everywhere, right?
When Prigozhin and Utkin's plane was shot down, people put their portraits on memorials. Others protested, "What are you doing? Remove it." Russians are saying, "He has Nazi symbolism on his portrait at a memorial for our grandfathers." See?
Where? Photo?
Yes, of course I can.
Show me.
Yeah, show it.
Alright, why are you all so impatient?
Well, come on, show it to me. I'm just curious.
Okay then. Here's the portrait. There. And here he is with Putin right away. Oh, they even went ahead and drew it in for you. Look how they touched it up a bit. Well, what exactly is this? Okay, let's just leave it at that. Look, they even made a direct note of it for you. They even highlighted. They even made sure to point out exactly which photos are there.
Another photo?
Another one? Here's another.
Just one.
Whoa. How many do you need? What's the absolute minimum?
3.
Just look it up on Wikipedia. Please. Alright, here, let me show you a 4th one. Here's the fourth picture. There, just look. So, look, with Dmitry Utkin, when he founded this PMC, having those kinds of tattoos, why did he choose to name his PMC after Richard Wagner? Seriously, you know the answer. You really do know. Come on, tell me. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. How can you say you don't know, right? Hello?
Hello, good evening, good evening.
Have we definitely spoken before?
Probably. I sometimes come on in the evening.
So, what do you want to talk about today?
Oh, nothing really, I don't have any topics.
I talked to Russians about aggression. I'm discussing the Russian Federation's aggression against Ukraine.
Well, how much more can we say? I think it's been 10 years and everything's clear.
Exactly. We are documenting the subjective opinions of Russians so that they can't change them later on. Retroactively.
That's right, yes, but what to change?
What do you mean? As you can see, even the rhetoric of the Russian government and the Russian elites is already changing. They say we need to make peace. We need to slowly unite on something. Now, more often, Russians don't threaten me. Instead, they ask, when will we make peace with you? I'm recording all of this, you see.
You see how good that is. Why argue? We certainly need to make peace. What have these 4 years brought? What good came of it? So many dead on both sides, so many disabled individuals.
And why should we make peace, excuse me? Why make peace? With the bodies of your relatives?
Do you want to keep fighting?
Look, let's put it this way. The war, the hot phase of the war, let's say. The military actions will come to an end for Ukraine when it grasps that by pausing now, it won't face even more extensive damage, lose additional lands, or jeopardize any more of its negotiating positions. That's it. Therefore, Ukraine is responding, and Ukraine is actively defending itself against Russia's aggression. That is the situation. So, as long as Russia keeps attacking, Ukraine will continue to defend itself. What does Ukraine truly need? For Russia to stop its aggression in the moment and not attack later on. What options do we have for Russia not to attack now and not to attack in the future either? One option is for Russia not to exist at all. For Russia to no longer exist as a state or even as, shall we say, a cultural manifestation. The second option, which is more realistic and plausible, is that Russia exists. Yes, Russia exists, but it finds itself in a state where it lacks the capacity to independently or unilaterally decide to launch an attack, for instance, against Ukraine once more. In the first and second cases, Ukraine is, more precisely, in both cases, Ukraine is interested in A. An end to hostilities, and B. Guarantees that Russia will not attack again. In which of these scenarios is making peace with the murderers and oppressors of your people a necessary or even an optionally desirable point? I simply cannot comprehend this. So, if Russia vanishes, or if Russia confines itself to its own territory and has no way to attack others, that would be perfect. What a truly wonderful world. Oh, brave new world, how wondrous. Why should we make peace with Russia? I simply cannot understand when that would be necessary. Making peace with Russia is merely, well, it's not truly making peace. It's what Russia terms coercion to peace. Coercion to friendship, coercion to love, where you're forced to demean yourself before Russia, shed your whole identity, proclaim Russia superior, and assimilate into Russian identity, a Rossianin, or whatever term you prefer. That's what Russia refers to as making peace, which, by the way, is not what making peace truly means, not by Russia's approach. And I just can't understand why we should reconcile with Russia. No matter what, I just can't get it. Why?
Why? Let me explain it to you.
Go on.
In just a few words. The further one is from the war, from the trenches, from the assault rifles, and from death. You might wake up in the morning alongside a friend, a comrade, and then an hour or even half an hour later, he's lying there, missing legs or a head. Those are the people who truly desire an end to the war. Yet the farther one is from the front lines, they're all such heroes, willing to fight to the last man standing. Please, I listened to you for a full half hour. Do not interrupt me now.
But you said, no, that's not exactly what you said.
Let's hear it.
Let me say this again. I told you that all of us all of us want an end to military actions. All of us want military actions to come to a halt. And all of us Ukrainians, I'm speaking for all Ukrainians, we wish to have some opportunity, some kind of guarantee, some leverage, so that Russia won't attack us again. Now you've started telling me that classic trope, that those who are fighting have long wanted the war to end, while those of us sitting here in comfort, far from any torn limbs, are the ones who wish for its continuation. But I'm not discussing the war's conclusion. I'm saying, yes, it would be wonderful if the war concluded. The question is, why reconcile with Russians? Once more, my question to you is, why reconcile? And you're telling me why we should halt military actions. Military actions need to be stopped so that people don't perish. Got it. So why then reconcile with the Russians?
Do you realize what you're saying? Are you some kind of peacemaker? Or are you? Zelensky barely issued the decree, and look how many people under 23 have already left. What are you sitting there smiling about?
Because I posed the question, for what reason should we reconcile with the Russians? Why would we? Stop the war? Stop the military actions, of course. Everyone wants that. And the interesting part is, Russians also want it, as they can't cope. But that's not the point. Why reconcile? Why reconcile? Why reconcile?
Where'd you get that they can't cope? Every day, you know.
The Ukrainians are not offering you to reconcile. You're always proposing that to us. If you're moving forward on your own, then why are you suggesting we reconcile? Again, the question is, why should we reconcile with the Russians? Why reconcile? Why reconcile?
Grab an assault rifle and go fight. What are you doing sitting here? Grab an assault rifle and go fight against this enemy, or whatever you call them. Go fight. Your whole perspective will change instantly.
Do you hear what I'm saying to you or not? Are you a radio or something? Hello? Are you there? Caller first one to call in, turn off that radio, and just answer my question. Hello? Are you there? Hello, hello, hello? What's up?
What's up?
Why reconcile with the Russians?
Go.
Grandpa, an individual of advanced years.
All right.
Why reconcile? Reconcile, why reconcile? That's it.